There was a time before 2926 was operational, before we worked on the turntable, and even before we had a restoration site. Today, I bring you the start of New Mexico Heritage Rail, and the beginning of a rebirth of a locomotive. In the 1950s, the death of steam was quickly in effect across the U.S. In Albuquerque on 1956, the Santa Fe Railroad gifted ATSF 2926 to the city in celebration of Albuquerque's 250th anniversary. The locomotive rolled into Coronado Park, and that's where it would sit for the next 43 years. In the 1990s, however, 26's time in the park started to take its toll. Asbestos was revealed from her jacketing, vandals have took gauges and parts, and rust started to rear its ugly head. Albuquerque considered scrapping 2926 and washing their hands of the problem. But 2926 had made some friends during her time. August 1995, the first meeting of the newly formed NMSL&RHS commenced. The organization was originally inspired by Ed Bukoff, and 23 years later, it would be renamed to New Mexico Heritage Rail. In August of 1997, the NMSL was given permission by the New Mexico State Corporation Commission to both restore and move 2926 out of Coronado Park. Now the organization has the go-ahead, the next hurdle looms over the volunteers' heads to move 2926 out of Coronado Park. Now, the original move out of the park wasn't as simple as hooking 2926 to a caterpillar and pulling her away. We have to understand how impressive this was, and the pressure the organization was under. Let's set the stage. In June of 2000, I-40, the highway north of 2926, was scheduled for renovation. 2926 would be trapped if she wasn't moved to the BNSF spur on the other side of the highway before the renovation. There was no time for the organization to dilly-dally. In the winter of 1999, work began to get 2926 ready to move, led by the first mechanical officer, Paul Chenoweth. Firstly, every part of 2926's motion had to be lubricated. The connection between the driving rod and the piston rod had to be separated, so the move didn't drag the piston around, scorning the inside of the cylinder. Then the nuts Santa Fe welded to the track to keep the engine in place had to be cut off to free the soon-to-be Duchess of Albuquerque. For the move, we need equipment, which the NMSL doesn't have. That's when Ron Adkins suggested Jack Messer. Jack owned Messer Construction, which often helped BNSF with track work and derailments. With Messer Construction agreeing to conduct the move, the escape of Coronado Park is dated for in between June 23rd and the 25th. On the 23rd of June, 4 Caterpillar boom tractors are brought in to help move the beast. Panel track is placed before 2926 to roll her onto and out of the park. Now everything is in place, it's time to pull.
A happy moment for a patient crowd. From another angle, in the beginning the huge locomotive creeps forward a few feet, then needs more oil, a few more feet. Where the big yellow machine goes, the big black machine follows.
Then, terrifyingly, the drivers stopped rotating.
The Locomotive Historical Society is concerned. You don't want to flatten the wheels by dragging it. From this angle, you can see what's happening. The track angles up so sharply to accommodate the median that the front wheels and the back wheels are carrying the weight of the locomotive. The middle wheels are lifted up just slightly, and so they don't move. Once the next set of wheels reaches the top, everything's moving again, and the 2926 steps out of the park.
Once the loco exits the park, she is pulled down Indian School Road towards the main line.
The locomotive is coming up to a left turn, so the track must be bent to the left. To do that, track clips, which are holding the ties, have to be removed.
Once she is curved in the right direction, the old girl is pulled underneath I-40 towards the BNSF spur. The spur is disconnected from the main and reconnected to the panel track, allowing 2926 to roll onto the spur. Once on the spur, 2926 is officially saved, but the spur isn't a place to restore her. However, it will hold her for now until the volunteers can find a good place for the restoration. This move was quite impressive, and is probably the most important part of 2926's history. If only those volunteers could foresee where their accomplishment would lead to. Welcome to Coronado Park. I figured, since this was the start of the entirety of our organization, this would be the best place to end the video. Of course, if you enjoyed and want to support us and our endeavors, please go to our website at 2926.us and become a member or even a volunteer. My name was Kinda Circle, I was your host, and I'll see you next time.